Hello, everyone, and welcome to Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk Live. We are powered by Fairway, and we've got Hunter Moeller and I, both pretty big Fairway fans in our own right.
Yeah.
And Nikki Brackett, Nick Steffens on the ones and twos over there. We apologize if we're a little tired because Hunter, we had a pretty busy weekend. Correct?
Yep. And I wasn't on last week because I was at some golf.
Hunter
and
wasn't on last.
Good to be back.
Right. Yeah, we're powered by Hunter as well. Finally, it wasn't a great episode last week. I'd say it probably ranks towards the bottom, right? It's like it was like the equivalent to what's the Stranger Things episode that everyone hates, the one where she goes to Chicago, 11.
Yep.
Spoiler alert, season 2. So I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
If you're not in season,
Get on it, right?
So the reason we're tired is because it's been a crazy couple weeks in spring sports. I don't remember all of them happening at one time like this.
No.
But I usually think the state track happens, and then we have a little space to get ready for golf and tennis and all that stuff. We've got sports going on in the Southeast Iowa Union area right now.
We've got state golf. We've got state tennis.
They are competing right now. We'll get to that a little bit after the second break. We're going to go through all of our craziness from state track.
Yep.
Hunter, we had a couple of second place teams, Columbus and Mid Prairie. Why don't we talk about Columbus first because Mid Prairie's kind of a been there, done that a little bit, and so we'll save them for second. But it was a banner year for the Columbus Wildcat boys. And a wild ride, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, long time coming for the Wildcats. Obviously, we knew they had some of the best sprinters in the state, and we had some other guys kind of step up from their team in the events that we kind of talked about up there. We kind of popped off with some top 5 finishes. But 48 years to be exact that Columbus, since the last time Columbus has medaled at the state track and field meet. And boy, did they put on a show, needless to say. Yeah, it came right down to the wire there, them in Lisbon. So long story short, Lisbon edged the Wildcats. That's how they finished second, 60-52 in the team standings there. Like I mentioned, came down to the final event for both teams, which was the 4x1. In the prelims to the 4x1, both teams, the previous state record, state meet record in the 4x1 was 43.01. Both shattered that. I believe Columbus ran a 42.69 and Lisbon ran a 42.71, I think. In the final, shattered that even more. I'd have to double check here what Columbus ran. I think it was
in the final.
It was a 42. 40 something, I think.
Columbus ran in the finals of 42-42.
Yeah, so which was better than their now state record. Well, then state record.
Since Lisbon won, I guess I wish that the finals were slower. That was
right.
That state record, but for a short time, Columbus did have the state record.
So both teams shattered that record again in the finals. Columbus with the 42-42 time there. And then, but Lisbon ran one of the most insane times ever posted in the 4x1 with the 42.10. So that's how Lisbon kind of came out on top. But it was a big weekend for the Wildcats. Tristan Miller. Obviously, he took the state title in the 110 hurdles. Obviously, he was second at Drake Relays. Pretty much dominated the entire field. He shattered the state meet record in the prelims with a 14-12. I mean,
which stayed the record. No one beat his prelim record in the finals.
And in the final he ran, I believe, a 14:39:35. So obviously, big weekend. I don't think anybody had sub 14 in that final either. So. Big win for him there. Obviously, he grabbed second in high jump. Obviously, New London's Cade Benjamin was the state champion back-to-back for him there. Benjamin cleared 6.7. Miller took second, as I said, with a jump of 6.6. He was also a part of the shuttle hurdle that finished third overall. Kind of a wild race that one was.
Yeah, that was a crazy race.
Cam, I think it was Lawton Bronson, Lisbon, and Cam Anita were, I think, all had better times coming in than Columbus, because I believe Columbus finished fourth in the prelims. But Cam Anita's anchor on the second to last hurdle hit it, fell down, and got DQ'd.
He kind of spun, didn't he?
But yeah, he kind of spun, fell down, and knocked the second to last hurdle into the field of Tristan Miller there, and he kind of hopped over and got, they picked up a third place finish, so that was some big points for them there.
Miller was going 100 miles an hour as usual to catch up when that happened. It was a little scary that he might get taken out.
Yeah, and then another big points for the Wildcats. Caden Amagon picked up a pair of third place finishes. He finished third overall in the long jump with a jump of 20.11.50. That was good enough for third. Shout out to we'll talk about this, but WMU's Cam Buffington took the won the state title there in the long jump. And then he finished 7th in the 100-meter dash. We kind of talked to him after. He was a little disappointed about the 7th place finish in the 100-meter. Kind of used that as motivation in the 200, bounced back and ran 3rd in the 200-meter. Nice points there from Amagon. And then junior Russell Coyle, we kind of looked over, saw he was throwing, and he had a real nice showing, finished 5th there in the discus, and then 8th in the shot there. And then I mentioned the shuttle hurdle. Let's see here.
That's Riley Kalberg, Dante Higa, Alexander Reese, and Tristan Miller in the shuttle hurdle.
Yeah, I mean, the 4x1 was Jeff Hoback, Kalberg, and Miller, and Amagon all running that as well. So, and I believe, let me look, that was all the Wildcats events. Obviously fell a little bit short, but I know they were pretty disappointed after that 4x1, wanted to win it because that would have gave them the title. Well, I think it would have been a situation like Meepo and Williamsburg. I think they would have tied in points if they would have won. So,
well, if they would have had to have beaten Lisbon by, let's see, it was an 8. It was an 8, so they would have had to win and have Lisbon get
3rd,
6. 4th, I think.
4th
to take that. So they had,
and by the times there was no way that Lisbon would have had to drop the baton with how the times are working. But still, regardless, what I say, 48 years since they've even brought any hardware home from the state tournament. They're losing a couple good couple big seniors really for them. Obviously, they've got Coyle coming back, returning. Amagon's coming back. I was just losing Tristan Miller. Kalberg, I believe, I think he's a junior. I have to double check.
Is a sophomore.
Look at that. And then Alexander Reese, I believe, is a freshman. He finished 13th, I believe, in the 110s, I believe.
He did. I was going to say one of the most impressive things, one of the things I really liked about when Tristan Miller broke the 110 hurdle record at prelims was the first thing he said was, he was like, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Hopefully our freshman Alexander Reese will break that one day. And then he talked about how Alexander was the fastest freshman in the 110s, which was
he was 13th.
Being like, my teammate's going to break that here pretty soon anyway. Also, I would just like to say that every single event that Columbus ran in, you only score if you're top 8. Yeah. Every single event, prelims or finals, 13. They were top 13.
Yep.
So there's 24 teams.
That's pretty impressive
in each thing. So they were very, very, very good. I mean, 8 points away from a state title. Definitely a banner year. Kind of, you could say a cherry on top of what was a really good year in Columbus sports. They still have Columbus WME baseball coming up. But
yeah, because they pretty much, looking at the season, they pretty much swept the SEC in the sprints. Pretty much like Tristan Miller, one of the things he said is he wanted to be kind of the undisputed 100-meter or 110-meter hurdle champ, and he never lost all season long. So
that was about as undisputed as you can get.
Well, I guess
he lost to Drake.
He lost to Drake, yeah, technically, but and I think
1A.
And we swept the 1A events, I should say. So,
along with that, we had a second place finish from Mid Prairie. Now they had won 4 state titles in a row, but I would say, given the senior points that they lost last year, I don't know if it would have really been expected to come as close to winning a 5th straight as they did. I thought almost every single Mid Prairie girls track event hit or exceeded expectations.
Right.
They never had a flop.
That's what we said.
And so we had a few winners. One very perennial, that was the word I was looking for, a perennial winner in Danielle Hostetler. Danielle has one of the craziest stats going right now as a junior. She has not lost the Class 2A cross-country race, and she has not lost the 3,000. So the two... she hasn't lost the 3,000 at state. So the two Class 2A longest races, this is the closest I've seen her to losing the 3,000.
Real nice kick there at the end.
Yeah, she ran 10 minutes, 20.73 seconds. And what it was about, last lap, first turn there, the girl ahead of her, now let me get this girl's name here. It was that Hillary Trainer of Sumner Fredericksburg.
Yep.
Started to pull away from her a little bit. And Danielle had a great quote. She said,
one of the probably the best quote of the weekend, I'd say.
I'll pull that up on my notifications because I know a lot of people.
I've got it right here.
Like that. You got it?
Yeah. So probably one of the best quotes that we've got. She said, "There comes a point in a race where you have to choose. Am I going to have the temporary pain and really make it hurt, or am I going to have regret? Thankfully, God gave me the strength to choose the pain." I mean, that was like the hardest quote I've ever heard from him.
She also got 3rd in the 1,500 and 8th in the 800.
Yep.
So the Hostetler sisters, I believe, are up to, what is that, 18?
17, 18 championships,
Countless points at the state meet. For a lot of you track fans that used to watch Anna and Marie beforehand. But we got another sister coming up, so that's Mid Prairie's in pretty darn good shape on the distance. And then a win in the 4x2 relay.
Yeah.
Now, this is not something that Mid Prairie often wins.
Yeah.
There was not a Hostetler
First ever.
in this.
First ever 4x2
First
champ.
ever 4x2. There was not a Hostetler in this 4x2. There was Tabitha Evans on the anchor leg. This is Madeline Schrader, Amara Jones, Jovi Evans, and Tabitha Evans, 3 seniors and a freshman. One of the more exciting times of the weekend. We were both on the track when this happened.
Yep.
1 minute 44.49 seconds for the 4x2 championship, and they won it. I checked back on my picture of Tabitha getting finishing.
Yeah.
There's nobody else in the picture. You know,
Yep.
it's got a little space behind her, so that was really cool. And
Great
it was
run
just
for
kind of
them.
a cool thing to watch. You know, these are 3 senior sprinters, and then they've got Jovi Evans coming in and kind of giving them that 4th leg, and they're in a pretty perfect race there.
Yeah, and we kind of talked to that, same group of girls a lot over the weekend.
Yep.
And it was like, I don't know, it was just nice that for them it was kind of like, passing the baton. No pun
nice.
intended, but
Nice.
to Jovi Evans there, and she showed out being a freshman and running with those girls. So
It was kind of a running joke how often we talk to the because they have a lot of the same girls in the relays.
Yeah.
In fact, well, here I'll just say the 4x1 got second. That's Jones. That's Strader, Jones, Evans, and Evans. Same exact group.
Yep.
And the 800. The sprint medley. I hate when I see 800 medley.
Yeah, I know.
The sprint medley of Schrader, Nevaeh Decker, Evans, and Evans got 3rd. So a lot of familiar names there and common names on those relays. And then the distance medley of Schrader, Jones, Evans, and Daniel Hostetler got 2nd. So that's 4 relays in the top 3. And is Amara Jones in all 4 of those? No, she's missing. She's missing. She's not in the 4x1, 4x2. But is Madeline Schrader in all of those?
yes,
Madeline Schrader is in all of those, so she had a huge weekend herself. And then do we see how many points Mid Prairie scored? They scored.
let's see here. So Van Meter took the champ. Yep.
Van Meter took it with
71.
71, and then 3rd place is 36. So there was quite a gap between the two. And another huge year for Mid Prairie. They continue the dynasty. I don't think it's slowing down anytime soon.
Yep.
You still got another Hostetler. Jovi Evans looks like she's going to be a pretty promising sprinter there. They do lose a lot of seniors this year, but I was telling somebody that I went to a cross-country meet. We don't get a lot of middle school stuff, but I did go to a middle school cross-country meet this year where Mid Prairie, I think, had the first 6 runners go through. So they have plenty of speed behind them. And we had some other state champions, Hunter.
Yeah, we had a few, right? We had a few. You wanna hop in on long jump first, or you want me to?
We'll go long jump first. This was one of those situations where we got to stay a little bit late because of me, because my kid was graduating preschool, and which I think I told both of our champions once we finally got them to get an interview. We'll go with the first one, which was Winfield Mount Union's Cam Buffington. He had not scored in the long jump. I believe he got 9th last year. We've kind of seen him hit that mark a few times this year. We were like, oh, Cam might win this. Win this long jump, which I don't know how much he works on it during the summer, but obviously he's going to be at a lot of football camps.
Right.
So he went out there, first jump, boom, that was good enough to win the state championship. Let's see, what is his Thursday field events? Let's go ahead and get his jump here. It was 21 feet 8 inches even, which won by just over 4 inches over Carter Sievers of Newell Fonda. And then we said Caden Amagon got. Yeah, how about this? Cam Buffington first, Winfield Mount Union. Columbus's Caden Amagon 3rd. Waco Simeon Reichenbach 6th. Hillcrest Owen Scott 11th. So 4 out of the top 11 long jumpers in Class 1A boys came from the Union area, which is pretty insane.
That is pretty insane.
And let me see, what jump did he get this in? He got that in his 2nd jump, so he was in first place the entire time. Never wavered on that one. And then we knew that we weren't going to get to Cam because he went earlier.
He was early,
There's
yep.
no chance we were catching up. But
we had hope for.
We had a little bit of hope because Highland Sarah Burton, who we knew had a pretty good chance to win in the 1A girls, was not only still jumping while we were getting closer to Des Moines, but she had the 100-meter dash to prepare for, and we knew that she would. We knew that might back up the long jump a little bit. Still didn't make it in time, but 17 feet, 8.25 inches. Sarah Burton, a high jump champion, she jumped over 17 5 times in a row. and not another girl in that competition hit 17. So
Right.
she not only won it, but she won it over and over and over again. That was her first state championship. She got third last year, I believe. So that was a cool moment for her. A junior, just like Cam Buffington. So we have two, not only two champions, but we're going to have two defending champions next year. So Sarah Burton, big win for Highland on that one.
Yeah, and I just remember talking to her, and it seemed like she was so pumped about it. And then, the only time she didn't hit 17 feet was after she had to go and run the 100 and come back, 100 prelims, come back.
Which last year she did the same thing. She runs in the 100-meter dash, and the prelims hit right at the end of the long jump in 1A. And so she gets called away from the long jump. I think last year she had only jumped 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
This year she had jumped 5, I believe, and then went and did her.
Which probably helped her quite a bit because she was able to get, kind of that jump. Well, and by that time she kind of had an idea that, no one else had jumped even 17 foot. So
you keep watching people not hit 17. And she qualified in the 100-meter dash. She got 8th, so she got a point there. Sarah Burton had all the points for Highland on that one, and a promising thing for Highland next year. Although they do have a lot of seniors that are in there. Relays that all make it. Burton was a 4-time qualifier there. So
yeah,
and 11 points. Did I say she had 9 points? She had 11 points because she won and she got 8.
Yep.
So there we go. How about we still got more state champs left?
Yeah, we've got old Anthony Duncan out of Van Buren County.
Cool one.
This is a cool little story. So probably one of the things that shocked me the most out of our state champions was I didn't realize Anthony Duncan had only started running 2 years ago. He's now a senior. So his first year of running was last year. And a year ago, Duncan finished 5th in the 400 hurdles. This time, state champion. Yeah. We were kind of, coming in, I think he did have the best time, but it was kind of something that we were, watching. Like, oh yeah, we got Anthony Duncan up now. Yep. And, he gave heck of a kick there over the last hurdle to pass. I believe it was Jade. I can't remember the kid's name or where he was from, but it was Jaden something. Diamano or something like that. Diamano or something like that. But and I believe that kid was a 3A champion last year that he passed there right on the right at the last little stretch there. So he ran 54.97 in the 400 hurdles for his state championship time. New personal best for him there. Mentioned 4 spots up from last year, finishing 5th. He was kind of really pumped. He said, if you would have told me when I went out for track last year that he would have been a state champion, he would have just kind of laughed at you. So, that was kind of the craziest thing, that he didn't even think about going out for track, and then just went out, and all of a sudden, after 2 years, he's a state champion.
Crazy enough, just to throw in another name, Waco's Odie Chefanchuk was a foreign exchange student from the Ukraine last year, stayed over this year. He had not thrown the discus until last year either, and he was 3rd in the discus. So we had 2 kids that had literally never done this sport. Yep. And then 2 years of work, and they are state champions. That's kind of a crazy thing to think.
Yeah, and in 2022, Duncan also finished 13th in the 400 Open 4 this year. 3rd place finish for Duncan in the 4. He ran 50.04 for the spot there. So, and it was a nice little competition to run in between him and Mediapolis' Anthony Isley, who ended up getting 2nd in the event. And those two have kind of been going back and forth in that event when they've been at the same meets and stuff like that. So, looking back to his junior year, 13th finish in the 400, 5th in the 400 hurdles, and now he's 400 hurdles state 2A 400 hurdles state champ, and 3rd in the 400. So big points for him right there.
Speaking of big points, we're going to go to another state champion here. And I will tell you what, we're talking a lot about Columbus and Mid-Prairie, right? Columbus boys, Mid-Prairie girls. Well, we're always talking about Mid-Prairie girls at this point, but I've got a prediction for what we're going to be talking about 1 year from today.
Maybe I guess. Can I?
Sorry. The Pekin
I was going to guess it anyway.
Are next up to be a real track power. Pekin's already good at track.
Yep.
But they have so many points from their freshmen and sophomores this year. And one of those 16 of those points came from the throws. Anna Hadley came out and threw 134 feet 10 inches in the discus to be a state champion. After she said she thought they mismarked it, she didn't feel like it was 134, which was really 135 as we round up there.
Right.
But that was really cool to see. She's a freshman. We've seen her throw crazy marks this year. We knew she was going to be in it. But there were a lot of good girls she was running against. Audie Crooks had just won the shot put the day before. She ended up getting fourth. That's the future Iowa State star there on the girls' basketball court. Hadley had only thrown 123 feet 6 inches in her third, going into the extra throws. Of course, top 8 if you're not familiar with track. If you're in the jumps or the throws, if you're top 8, you get 3 extra throws at the end. And then whatever your throw/jump was that was the best, that's what they go by. Fourth throw, 134.10, and then right after that she threw 134.04, so she would have won it on either of those throws. That was really impressive, and she had some really good throwers to go against. And then the shot put, she actually was going to miss the finals in the shot put until her third throw. And she threw 36 feet 4.5 inches on her third throw, and then when it got into the extra throws, threw 39.175 for third place. So not only is she won the discus, she was third in the shot put, and I do believe that the first and second on the shot put were both seniors. So that's huge potential points for her. And then another freshman, Chloe Gosser, in the I don't want to screw it up, 1500. There we go. I was making sure it's not the 3000. In the 1500, she took fifth and gave the Panthers 4 points. So some big ones there. And then also Casey Miller took seventh, tied for seventh on the high jump to get a point there. They kind of it was a tie, so they had to usually seventh gives you 2 points, but it was a tie, so she got 1 point for that. She's a sophomore, so that means 3 underclassmen scored that many points for Pekin. And then I was looking at so in the Class 1A standings, Pekin got 9th, right?
Yep.
The team that won the Class 1A girls only had 4 girls on it.
Yeah, I remember we saw that. We're like, is that right?
4 girls. One girl won 3 races and then anchored a relay. 38 points, right?
Yep.
Pekin scored 25 points, tied for 9th. That's 13 points away. And then in Calamus Wheatland, the team that won was a few points ahead of National Playing Field. Now their studs are still coming back next year.
Yep.
But that means 13 points is only... a
and you
second and a third or something like that away. Pekin could be a real challenger.
And you look at, you mentioned the freshmen too. Like it's not like they're a lot of their talent's freshmen too.
Yep.
Obviously they've got some upperclassmen that are, great too, that they're going to lose, but
yeah, they had good especially in the relays.
Yep.
They had upperclassmen, but so that's the official Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk presented by Fairway Prediction before next year. That Pekin girls will be one of the teams that lead off this show next year.
Yeah, and then moving on to another one that I mentioned, but needed to kind of dive into a little bit. Obviously, our back-to-back Class 1A high jump champion. All right over there? Yes. Our back-to-back Class 1A high jump champion, New London's Cade Benjamin. This time around, defends his title, clears 6'7", almost had a clean slate all the way through. He missed his very first jump at 6'6", cleared the next one, and then cleared his jump at 6'7", and that was good enough for the title. Mentioned Columbus's Tristan Miller could only get 6'6", or couldn't get 6'6", or cleared 6'6", couldn't get to 6'7".
6'7". There was a time I was coming back from the field. I must have been watching somebody at discus. I don't remember what day because they all run together, but I might have been with Hadley.
And I called you.
And you're like, get over here, get to the high jump. And I showed up, and it was Cade and Tristan, the only two. That was really cool to watch them back. Yeah. They're friends, and I talked about
there's a nice little camaraderie between the high jumpers there. So that was kind of cool to see. So Benjamin obviously back-to-back state champ. I know he was really really happy to do that, and a nice little jump between friends there. 6'7" is enough to win it, and. Also for New London, Ryland Martin with a third place finish in the what was it, 1500?
He got third in the
800. Yep.
Of course, Ryland's in 800.
Ryland got third in the 800 there, ran 1:57.47. Actually finished second in that final heat there. They just got nipped by a kid in the second heat there by like 0.03 of a second.
That happened twice.
So
we'll talk about that later.
So that was he was happy with the way he ran, but tough there, 0.03 a second. We saw a lot of races come down to the hundredths of a second there.
We did.
Some even, I remember one race, I think I never seen it before, tied. I can't remember who got second in that race, but somebody got second in the third. 2 of the guys in third tied for third, down to the hundredths of a second. They couldn't even decide a winner. So
we had a runoff in one. We had a runoff in one, and not our kids. But
the girl was 4A, I think. 4A
100 dash, where they literally had the 2 of them go grudge match against each other. I've got one more state champion. There's a 3-time state champion in the wheelchair. Jaden Stafford, he came in favored in the wheelchair. We had two in the wheelchair, Mid-Prairie's Jaden Stafford and Washington's Josh Anderson. Jaden had not won a state title before, and he took a tumble. The first race is the 800, coming across right before the finish line. On the final stretch, he crashed it a little bit there. I don't know another way to say it. Bounced right back the next day and won the 100, 200, and the 400. So sophomore Jaden Stafford is a 3-time champion.
Yeah, he said he just came into the curve a little bit too hard. And definitely gave him motivation when I was talking to him about coming back, because he knew that he was like on the favorite on paper, and he's like, obviously it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah, I saw that. Somebody was videotaping that interview, and he kind of had a cool little thoughts. But always work out.
Yeah, I know, but I know he was happy with the results talking to him, but
yeah, that was cool, and that was one of our expected champions on the 100. 17.56 seconds, in the 200, 32.81 seconds, and in the 400, 1:05.12. And because he got a DNF in the 800, that messed up the wheelchair standings a little bit, because he was consistently the best racer, but the math didn't quite work out. And then Josh Anderson of Washington, we'll talk about him after the break, because we're talking a little big school action. We knew a lot of the smaller school kids won state championships, so we will be back after this commercial break, and we have more state track coverage.
We'll be back.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
Unbelievable amount of devastation. I've never seen anything like it.
We had a beautiful barn that was gone in 20 minutes.
Farm Bureau stepped up right away and said, hey, we got you and we'll be there for you.
We were taken care of. Now we could get on to repairing and rebuilding.
I tell everybody about Farm Bureau.
We're fortunate to say we have good coverage with good people doing it.
Contact Farm Bureau agents Tony Starr and Mike Welcher in Mount Pleasant today.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
Tammy takes the time and has the personal interest in each one of us. I don't worry about what's going to happen because I know my policy is taken care of.
She pulls what I need and puts it together, which is the program I get from her.
Every year she calls around September or so and says, there's changes again, and I'm going to do the best thing for you. It's been perfect. She does a great job.
Protection is important, especially when you're talking about your dreams, which is why we're going to keep you covered with plans that can save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. That's protection.
Welcome. Oh, I just saw Nikki Brackett's do the like when he gets ready for the show, the 2-finger volume thing. That was pretty cool. We're on Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk Live. We are powered by Fairway, and you're watching us on Washington Live, Mount Pleasant Live, or Fairfield Lives. Oh, we'll start there. Fairfield Live's Facebook. That's why it was Fairfield and Facebook. Washington's Live, Spotify, YouTube, at Union Sports page. Jumping into some big school results from the state track meet. We're going to go with the most points first, and the most points went to the Mount Pleasant boys. And a big part of that was Will Davidson ended his pretty storied Mount Pleasant career with 2 of his best finishes ever. Will, 110-meter high hurdle, 2nd place, and 400-meter hurdle, 3rd place. So Will broke the Mount Pleasant school record in the prelims for the high hurdles.
Flying.
14:10, which is pretty crazy. So you think about what Miller and Davidson did in the high hurdles. Those are some unheard of. And by the way, the Mount Pleasant boys are very good at the 110-meter high hurdle.
Yeah.
This isn't like you just jumped into a sport where a lot of kids don't run. That's their best. The shuttle and the 110s are their best events.
Always been great at hurdles.
He is now on top of. He beat Cole Phillips' record. I was here when Cole Phillips ran. That kid was a superstar. And then he got 2nd in the finals with a 14:33. That gave Mount Pleasant 8 points. He was this close to winning a state championship in that. And even though he got 3rd in the 400-meter hurdles, 13 seconds, he was about this close to winning the 400 hurdles. You were talking about how Anthony Duncan got nipped by a runner in the heat right before him. Same thing happened to Will Davidson in the 400-meter hurdles.
Yep.
The 2 in the fast heat were going right down to the wire, and the kid barely beat him. And then, if you imagine a little ghost runner from the first heat.
Was even closer,
right in the middle of those 2. So 3rd place, and then Avon Trong scored for Mount Pleasant also with a long jump of 21 feet, 7.75 inches. So that's how, and Isaac Gerald in the shot put, which we'll talk about here in a second, the shot put for a different reason, but 51 feet, 3.25. And those are all your scores for the Mount Pleasant boys. Not too bad of a, they're on their way back a little bit, not too bad of a showing. And then, Hunter, you got the Washington boys.
Yeah, for Washington, obviously, the regional, the track regional didn't go as planned for, reasons for, senior Elijah Morris, one of their probably arguably, their top, track star coming out of Washington there.
Memory, yeah.
Yeah, defending 2-time 400 state champ, obviously had an injury, so he qualified for the 100, qualified with the sprint med, but couldn't run either of those events at state. Didn't even get a chance to run his 400, and he was favored in the 200. And was, I think, 3rd in the 100. Coming in, Washington's Braden Hartman, obviously one of the favorites there in the shot put. We talked about people, coming so close.
Oh, yeah.
His was literally came down to the final throws of final 3 throws of the competition. On Hartman's second to last throw, he threw 57 feet 8 inches. That was good enough to put him in the lead on a second to last throw. And you and I looked at each other, and he kind of celebrated like, it just kind of let out a roar of emotion because
was it a let's go or was it
or something like that. He was definitely pumped.
Quiet guy, but he was pumped when he threw that one.
Yeah, and then I can't remember the Dubuque Wallards, Duke Faley came up on his. I believe he was right after.
It was right after because it was his 4th throw. So through, I think Braden's throw was on his 3rd, and so then you do the warm up before the next throws, and on the 4th throw is when the Wallard kid PR'd there.
And then Dubuque Wallards, Duke Faley on his next attempt through 58, 2.75 inches, 58 feet, 2.75 inches. So, and then Hartman got one more throw, couldn't quite get there, and then Faley, took the state title there, leaving Hartman there for 2nd in that one. And I know he was kind of, he felt like he threw as good as he could when we were talking to him, but the kid PR'd by I think like 2 feet or.
It's one of those rare sporting events where you can have it kind of wrapped up and then something happens where it's just like, that's like a half court shot. Kid hadn't thrown that far before, and I think Braden was the only kid that hit.
He was the only kid in Class 3 that hit 58 feet, and then this kid
57.
Yep.
And so that was a tough one.
So that's why he was kind of pumped that he hit 57 because it was no one up in that point. But then you kind of look at how the whole weekend was playing out, and everybody in every single event was shattering their PR, and But I know he was proud of how he threw when we were talking to him. But he also grabbed some points, finished 8th in the discus, 11th in discus, I guess, throwing 151, no points there, 151 feet and 5 inches for him there.
I was the Washington boys got points in the wheelchair. We talked about Josh Anderson.
Yep.
Second in the 100, fourth in the 200, and fourth on the 400, which was big for him. First time, obviously, he's a freshman. And then the Washington girls
yeah.
a few points.
Couple seventh place finishes.
Couple seventh place finishes. Iris Dahl, 2:19.61 in her first ever 800. That's a name to watch in a lot of those distance events.
Young
she's
runner
really
for
good in
them.
cross country too. And then Grace Voss, a senior, closes her career out tied for seventh. And the high jump, a few more ties on the Voss, seventh place on the Miller from Pekin earlier. So she got 0.06 points for the girls, and that one cleared 5 feet even.
Yeah, and we should shout out Fairfield. No points scored by the Trojans, but their best finisher was Ryan Giberson, who cleared 5.11 high jump that tied him for 14th.
Yep.
And then Eli Zillman also jumped for the Trojans. And then for the Fairfield girls, the shuttle hurdle, I'd have to double check
Yep, shuttle hurdle.
Shuttle hurdle made it, which was I'd have to double check.
Get it off your head.
Maya Lane, Lily Bergeron.
Got 2.
Hit me.
No, I don't have it up here. I was looking it up so I don't mispronounce anyone's name here. We watched Fairfield on the shuttle hurdle. There are only girls shuttle hurdle in 3A.
Yep.
Maya Lane, Lily Bergeron, Haley Rainier, and Isabel McCready.
Yep.
There you go. And they got 21st, 1:12.53.
Yep.
So that's all we got for big school track. We're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to run through the other sports as best we can because they're all happening as we speak when we get back in about 2 minutes. So stick with us.
Family owned and operated by Andy and Sarah Ross, Ross Auto has been your vehicle repair and maintenance headquarters since 1935. We specialize in all makes of cars and light-duty trucks. With our variety of available services, let us help you keep rolling and your vehicle operating efficiently. Services include general auto repair, alignments, brakes, fuel injection, and more. Schedule your appointment today at 319-653-5656. That's 319-653-5656. Bring the kids and share the memories from steam engines, antique cars and trucks, tractors, gas engines, and horses. Maybe your memories are of great food from the North Village to the Log Village, or going to one of the amazing concerts. This is the place where memories are made. Make plans now to enjoy the history of the past at the 2023 Midwest Old Threshers Reunion, August 31st through September 4th in Mount Pleasant. Visit oldthreshers.com for more details.
At 5 Star Community Credit Union, we want to help you lead a better life. We offer competitive rates and convenient appointment times for all kinds of loans: auto, recreational vehicles, home equity, line of credit, holiday, and personal loans. We make it easy to build your credit and enjoy the good things in life.
We invite you to join 5 Star Community Credit Union. We are community-minded and member-focused. Come visit our locations in West Burlington and Mount Pleasant or online at 5starcu.org. Federally insured through the NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
At Brown Shoe Fit, we pride ourselves on traditional sit and fit service that's been serving the Mount Pleasant area since 1952. At Brown's, we have shoes for the whole family. From kids to adults, we carry the finest footwear for every occasion. Whether you're looking for something for work, casual wear, or exercise, we've got you covered. And don't forget about our selection of safety toe footwear for both men and women. Come visit us 6 days a week and experience the best in traditional sit and fit service. Brown Shoe Fit, where quality and tradition meet.
Welcome back to Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk. Who are we powered by, Hunter?
I can't remember. No,
Fairway.
just kidding. Fairway. Fairway. I'm just kidding.
You hit me well now, and I didn't think that was coming. That one, you deflected that one. All right, Fairway.
I actually remember, but I just you hit it back so fast. You're like, Fairway.
That was a good one. Now I'm rattled. We are on Washington Live, Fairfield Live, and Mount Pleasant Live's Facebook, Washington Live, YouTube, and Spotify. At Union Sports page, we always pin. Did I pin it this time? Yeah, I pinned it. We always pin the show. That way, it's the first thing on the Twitter. We're going to run through some other sports here quick because they're going on currently. In Ames right now, the state golf meet is going on. After day one, The Class 3A leader by 3 strokes was Roman Roth of Washington, our only Class 3A competitor. He got 7. He tied for 7th last year, and he went +1 yesterday. Of course, there's 2 people tied at +4 behind him, so that is something we were paying heavy attention to. I texted Coach Colin Stark this morning. I knew I screwed that up. I texted Colin this morning, and I said if he could give us a call. I was kind of hoping that they would just really, really go fast today, and he could call us during Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk, but that's wild. They won't be done for another couple hours here over in Ames. He was the only individual in 3A. In Class 1A, Hillcrest yesterday was just 2 strokes off of first place. They were in 3rd. They were 1 stroke back. They're tied in 3rd, 1 stroke back of 2nd, and 2 stroke backs of 3rd, and all 9 teams were separated by 13 strokes, which is crazy. So Hillcrest could literally get first, last, anywhere. Usually 10 or 11 strokes is what separates the 2nd or 3rd team or whatever, and everybody's squeezed in there. Rowan Miller was shot an 81 for the Ravens yesterday. And let's see, Jason Rimple 84, Luke Schrock 85, Seth Hours 87, Liam Schrock 88, and Josiah Beachy 96. And we do have 1 individual over there, Mason Shelley 86. And they've got a few holes done today. It looked like Shelley had a pretty strong start to today, unless
I can do some breaking news right now if you want.
Break news.
Tied for 5th is Rowan Miller of Hillcrest Academy.
All right, so he's moving on
at +11.
He was 8th, I believe. Yeah.
And their next highest, I won't go down through all the list to find everybody, but I just get you.
It might be a little inaccurate though, because it's based on how many holes are in.
Oh yeah.
And so
he's through 6.
Through 6.
That's what it says.
Got it.
But then Mason Shelley, a little farther along, through 14. He's tied for 16th.
Perfect. Yeah, so they're moving up a little bit. We'll have all those on.
Trying to find the
If
teams.
you get the newspaper tomorrow's newspaper has day 1 results in it. It's online right now, and then the next days we'll have the full results.
Team right now, Hillcrest Academy has moved into 2nd.
There we go.
1 stroke behind leader Remsen St. Mary's.
Wow, that's crazy. Remsen was 2nd, I guess.
And it looks like if everything goes as it is, it's looking it could shake out that way because both Remsen St. Mary's, Hillcrest, and Cam were all separated, I believe you said, by 1 stroke. By 2 strokes.
Yep.
And now Hillcrest Academy are kind of out in the open right now, separated. Remsen St. Mary's +69, Hillcrest Academy +70, Cam +76.
Oh, there we go.
All 3 teams through 6. West Fork and Kingsley Pearson are tied at 4th, and they're both sitting at 78.
For sure.
So Hillcrest is looking pretty good.
Yes, I will say asterisk because it's based on they turn their cards in.
Yep.
And so it
takes a while to.
So the more you turned in, the worse your score is going to look because they're usually going plus, not minus.
Right.
I got burned on that plenty of times before. Hit us with some tennis, Hunter.
Yeah, we have basically, a duo left alive, doubles duo left alive from Fairfield. Obviously, state.
Just boys, by the way.
Yeah, boys tennis. State returners from last year. We have Garrett Flanagan and Jace Hannes.
Yep.
I think that's how we said we were going to say it now. Mm-hmm. But we knew they were going to have a tough matchup first round. They were taking on the 4th seed Waverly Shell Rocks. Myers and Ramker, they don't have their first names on here, so apologize to them if they ever see this. But
yeah, apologize to Waverly Shell Rocks.
Yeah, but Flanagan and Hannes fell 6-3, 6-0 in that first match today, and that was early, about 10 o'clock this morning. Yep. And they'll be back in action. They got one more match if they can try to bounce back in the consolation brackets first round, and they will take on Grundy Centers, Laub, and Lauver.
Yep, and they have to win to stay alive in the consolation bracket.
And the best that they can get now is 5th place.
Yep. And that's in Waterloo, by the way. So we got Fairfield Tennis and Waterloo, all the golfers in Ames.
Yep.
We had some soccer, a little bit of soccer carnage yesterday because we went 0-3 in the boys sub-state semis. Washington down by Carlisle 2-0. Danville, New London lost 10-0 to West Liberty, really good West Liberty team. And Columbus was beaten 1-0 in overtime by Mediapolis. So those are 3 boys soccer teams. We were done with boys soccer. And then real quick, in some baseball, a couple baseball softball highlights. Van Buren County 10-6 over Fairfield yesterday. Highland 5-0 in baseball over Washington. That Van Buren County one was softball. 5-0. Ethan Paisley pitched a perfect game against the Demons in game 1 for the Demons. I believe that was game 3 for Highland. So a huge win for Highland. That was the first time those teams have played since 2016. And then Hunter, you were at the Mount Pleasant softball game yesterday, and we got a win from Mount Pleasant yesterday.
Yeah, a little 6-4 win over Holy Trinity. Real nice showing. First varsity start for 8th grader Jolyn Martin. They were pitched 7 innings, allowed just 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, and a real nice showing at the plate from Ella McNamee and senior Ella McNamee, I should say. She went 2 for 4. She had 2 doubles, 2 stolen bases, and 2 RBIs in the win. And then Addison Clark, freshman, nice little showing, 2 for 3. 2 hits, 2 doubles and 2 RBIs, and then Martin at the plate also went 2 for 3 and had 1 stolen base there. And then I think I forgot to mention McNamee had 2 stolen bases as well. So real nice showing from a very very young Panther squad. Last night, I was kind of looking at the roster and didn't realize just how young they were. They've got a lot of freshmen, a lot of, I think I have to double check, but I think Martin's the only 8th grader, and she's going to be kind of one of their main pitchers too.
They've been waiting for her to get up there.
And a lot of freshmen. I think they own 2 seniors is McNamee and Jersey Beachy, I believe, is a senior.
And Emma Starr's a junior.
Emma Starr's a junior, yep.
By the way, great picture of Kinley White catching a ball. Her dad will be pumped on that.
Yeah, I talked to him last night.
Really? Yeah, Trev always makes sure we're in the right position to get those. Were you inside the fence here? Some good shots.
Yeah, I was inside the fence.
Nice.
You like those? I thought I did well.
So I'm excited for baseball, softball. Next week we will recap what's happening right now with golf and tennis. And soccer, and we still have Mukadama of Maharishi and the girls tennis this weekend, as well as Washington girls golf, New London girls golf. If I'm missing anywhere in there, I'm sorry. We got so many athletes running around right now. You got something?
So some breaking news from the 3A golf. I mean, you go take it with a grain of salt as the results get updated, but Roman Roth has an enormous lead. He is 6 shots ahead of everybody else.
Really?
He is sitting at even right now.
That means he's 1 under for the day.
He's 1 under for the day.
Wow.
The next one is Vinton Schellsberg's Carter Lamont at +6. So it's looking good for it's looking real good for Roth there. And then team overall, I can double check that real quick.
It doesn't matter for 3A. Washington's there individually.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot he's the other one. Yep, good call.
You're right. I didn't want you to look.
But yeah, shout out Roman Roth for putting some incredible rounds of golf.
If he wins this, he will have won the conference tournament, the state qualifier, and the and state back to back.
Wow,
huge run for him.
Yep.
That's all the time we have because it's 2:00.
Yep.
Mickey Brackett's is looking at his phone to see what time it is. So next week, baseball, softball, and the end of spring sports. So see you guys out in the warm baseball and softball fields. I'll be in Fairfield tonight.
Yeah.
Might stop in Cardinal for Cardinal Washington. I don't know yet.
Oh, there you
go. Might double dip. We'll see. So
all right.
For Fairway, Nikki, Hunter, and myself, we will see you
next week.